Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to the Amplify and Align podcast. Today, we're already laughing because of the subject matter for today. Not that it's not serious, but we're just going to have a little bit of fun with today's whole theme. And this came about because I myself have been personally looking for someone to kick my ass, and I've been looking for a coach, and I've been on a few sales calls, and nothing has felt aligned in any way, shape, or form. It's actually been a really big struggle, and I actually think now I'm the problem, which we'll get to. But hi, I'm the problem. It's me in Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's lyrics.
What? Taylor Swift? What?
Oh,
Oh,
you
see, I
haven't
don't know
heard
this
that?
stuff. As you know, as you're getting to know me, everyone, I half the time I don't even know
She's like
what she's fucking talking about.
socially inept. She's like, she just doesn't get.
No.
It was a song she released. It turned into memes and TikToks, and like it was a whole thing for a while a few months ago. So hi, I'm the problem. It's me. And anyway, so in this massive Facebook group where there are these amazing coaches, I've been watching for a little while to see if anyone sort of sparks my interest, and a couple of them have, and then I've clicked on their profiles and they're just shaking their ass in G strings, and then I'm like, oh,
Not
like
your
I was
vibe.
really, no, it's just not
Not
my
your vibe at
vibe,
all.
and I really want to find that person. Anyway, so there was this post, and there was like some funny stuff that came from that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I just want to have a bit of fun with this. And I just want to say, like, this is not, obviously, I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but this is not to be negative towards these people that have either reached out or posted in this group on this post, but it's just to bring awareness to, you probably think that you're doing a good job, and I'm guilty of this too. Like, we need someone externally to look at what we're doing and say, you know what, you're actually, like, you look like a dick, or you're not really talking to the right people, or this is just embarrassing and you really need to up your game as far as like reaching out to people. So I am going to read some of the stuff that came through. I'm wondering whether or not I
Hang on
should
a
go to
sec. What
actual
did you
posts,
comment?
but
Tell us what you actually
yeah.
comment. I mean,
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen it, but
Okay, so there was a post on one of our entrepreneurial groups, which, as I said, there's amazing fucking coaches in there that are making bank, making millions, making huge impact. It's very heart-centered, conscious. It's not the heart-centered entrepreneurs group, which I know people are going to go, oh, is it that one? No, it wasn't. It was a different one that's more aligned to our vibe. So a lady posted on there that she had been looking for support and hadn't found anyone that really aligned with her. And immediately I was like, oh, stop, let's have a look at this, because this is me. This is someone else posting. And I hadn't posted in there yet. I've just been like stalking people as they're posting. And she said she was ready to move from 6 figures to 7 figures, the same old language. And she was very, very clear on what she needed support with. And I fucking loved the clarity that she had in this post, because, like, yeah, this is really cool, because you could tell straight away, like, this is what she wanted and this is what she needed help with. Immediately, I just ran to the comments because I was like, surely most of this stuff fits the vibe of what I want. I don't want strategies. I don't want structures, because that's my jam, but I need someone to kick my butt to get me to do it. And I know, Em, I have you, and I love you for kicking my ass, but I need external
yes,
non-sister support at the moment.
non-bias, non wrapped up in the
as
sisterhood that
as
we
much
have.
as we are great together, it's that sister relationship where we're always going to go. And you've done this to me before, where you're like, I know you told me this 6 months ago, but now it's just finally, like, I finally go, oh yeah.
Don't I say that every week? Like every single week, I will say that at least once.
So, like, for me, I just want to hire someone, or even just be part of a mastermind. And I have put myself down on a wait list for a mastermind, but I'm still not sure if it's the right thing, because it is a really, like, not a mishmash, but that's the word that comes to mind. Like, there's so much stuff in this mastermind, and half of it is the stuff that I don't want to focus on. So I'm still not sure if I'm even going to bother. So I would consider, like, joining a group program, or a mastermind that's a little bit more high touch versus one-on-one coaching, because I'm really struggling with finding someone to help me at the moment. Anyway, So I ran straight to the comments section. And Em, I know you had read these comments as well.
Mhm.
And some of them had posted really good pictures to the point where it was like, this sounds really cool. I click on their profile, as you do, and I always click through to see their actual profile, not their group profile, because if you aren't aware, you have a group profile and you have a public personal, your own profile. And they're two very different things, and different things show up in there. So you can edit your group profile so that there is some content there for people to see, which most people don't do. So I clicked through to their real profile and there was nothing. There was no links to their Instagram. There was no links to a website, no like link tree to look at their content. And I was getting a little bit frustrated because I was inspired by what they'd written enough to click through to their profile. And obviously they're using their personal profile to network in Facebook groups. And I got absolutely nothing. Um, and I think I looked at probably 6 different profiles and I'm just like, this is just shit. You guys are all stupid. As if I'm ever going to hire someone who can't even like get their shit together to promote themselves properly. um, and I guess I was just like really disheartened. So I personally commented and I said, I apologize for hijacking your post. Like, I love the clarity, but I just want to say that I myself am looking for that next level support. And, these are the things I'm looking for. And I've clicked through on all of these profiles that have promoted themselves. And there's actually no way for me to connect or learn more about what they do or how to book a discovery call or anything like that. But no idea what programs you run, what experiences you have. All I've got is your content on your personal feed and access to DM you, which I am not going to be the person to reach out through DMs because I feel like for me, that's not something that I really like, other than actually having conversations with people. I'm not going to message someone and be like, hey, like, I'm interested, let's book a call. No, like, I actually want to investigate and learn more first because I don't want to waste my fucking time. Like, I've got my businesses, they're pumping. I never say I'm busy, but I am energetically at a capacity where I don't want to waste my time.
I think another element of
So,
this is too, is you want to go and be able to see their work without putting yourself in front of them. Because there's
yeah.
some energetic contracting happening there. I just want to slink
Mm.
around outside of
Yeah.
their awareness and actually have a look at what they do before I go, hey, I'm interested.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like, I just want to make sure that if I'm booking a 30-minute call, it's not going to be a fucking waste of my time. So I posted on there and I'm like, I'm looking for this person. These are the things I need. And I only want you to reach out to me with your landing pages or a website because I'm a visual learner and I want to actually investigate what you do in a visual aspect so that I can really take on the information from your energy externally, not from messages. And please don't DM me. Well, automatically, I got DMs and only one person who DM'd me. Excuse my broken nail. I was renovating on the weekend and I feel like stumpy over here with this broken nail. Anyway, one person that DM'd me did actually have a website, and I will admit I haven't clicked on it yet because I did say like no DMs. So I haven't clicked on it yet. And she has followed up with me today actually to see if I've clicked through, which is great. Love it. Love your vibe. I'm actually going to click on the link today at some point now to check out what you do because you've actually done a follow up. But the people that commented underneath, oh my gosh, I wish I could, I don't know, talk for a second, Em, and I'll see if I can find this because I really do.
Well,
I
one
think it's
challenge I
important
have,
for me to find. I should have had this up prior, but I didn't. So yeah, that's okay. Keep going.
so one thing that I get really frustrated about is that I feel like this is a violation of energy when people just see you and go, "Oh, you could be a customer of mine," and they jump straight into DMs and like, "Hey, I've got this thing, and do you want this thing?" But that invitation wasn't there. They're not really aware of who I am, what I actually need, really. And even if I've said I'm looking for something and saying no DMs, if they're coming to you and saying no DM after you've said no DMs, they obviously didn't read what you wrote properly. They
Oh,
didn't
for
read
sure.
it, and they're not actually interested in what you need. They're interested in getting themselves in front of me and trying to sell me shit. And that's, especially in mission-driven business, that's not a great way to do business. Lack of connection can actually send people retracting away from you rather than walking in and going, hey, I'd actually love to know more about what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just having a look. Oh yeah, here it is. Um, so straight away I had one person sent you a message with a black heart, which is cool because that's, my vibe. Another person said, just sent you a DM. Then someone wrote, I've been mostly referral based for the last 7 years, apart from my personal profile. Check out my vibe and my content and PM me if you're interested in more info. So already didn't really read what I had posted saying only contact me with landing pages. I know, and I sound like I'm the problem, I know that, but like you said, I wanted to explore energetically outside of like stepping into their energy first. And I wrote back, it's probably harsh, but I said, I tag this person. That's my thing though. I may love your vibe, but I need more than a DM personally. I want to explore visually. It's the way I connect. Said I've paid tens of thousands to work with people, and it may start with a DM, but I have somewhere else to explore more what they do. And like, I think this is really important, and this is why we're talking about this today. And she wrote back, that's totally fair. Thanks for the motivation to make my website. Yeah.
She didn't have a website.
She didn't have a website. And she's, said like she's been in business for the past 7 years. And that's fine. Like, you don't have to have a website. But for someone like me, who I'm never going to pay you $12,000 to work with you from a DM, like it's such a personal way that I connect. And I know that it's not the way everyone does. And some people will be willing to give you all this money with just DMing and whatever. But
See, I disagree. I think you actually
I
do need a website. If you're going to have an online business and you want people to come and look at what you do and connect with you, I think you need a fucking website, because that's the first thing I go and look at. So even if it's just one you've made yourself, it doesn't I mean, don't get me wrong, we've looked at some pretty awful websites together, but they don't need to be that shit. You can build a beautiful website on Squarespace without much knowledge on how to build a website. So
exactly.
have a website if you want an online business.
Exactly. Now, this one was the one you and I spoke about in our DMs. Like, I messaged you with this person. So this person said, hey, come ahead and stalk me, click my profile. I have, a website, go straight there if you like, or check out my content. And I commented, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Like, they actually commented their website. But I was quite specifically clear on what I wanted from a mentor moving forward. And she was not it and at all. And it's not about the pricing or anything like that. But I was quite shocked when, I said what I needed from a mentor and what level I was at and what I was looking for. And I clicked through to her website, and it was just like, the website copy was really bad. It really, like, I struggled to read it and connect with it. And I know that it's not her fault, but I looked at the website copy and I was just like, you should be working with me, not the other way around. And this is, I think, half the problem with me finding someone, is because I could see so many holes in the way she presented herself, her sales copy, like even the way her website funneled you into her offers. I'm like, damn, there's so much I could do for this person. So am I going to work with them? Probably not. But I looked at her offerings, and do you remember, Em, how much it was? It was like $300 or something a
Yes, I
month
remember. Yeah.
to work with her and it was one call a month, unlimited Voxer support. And there was all this other stuff about strategy that she could, help you with through that month. Like, you could send her stuff. And I looked at that and went, holy fuck, $300 a month for this? Like, that might be great for someone who's just starting a business, but I don't see any freaking value paying someone $300 a month to work with them, when most of the other coaches I've been talking to are over $6,000 a month to work with them. So, like, immediately I was just like, like sales copy, not aligned, totally mishmash, not great. Then to see her offers being so undervalued that I just didn't really connect with it. So yeah, she's
You
probably
forgot
like
to
the most
mention
lovely person, but yeah, sorry.
you forgot to mention the DMs with spelling mistakes.
Oh no, we
Whereas who
haven't got
spelt
there
your
yet.
name? Oh, okay, we're getting
We
there.
haven't got there.
Okay. It's there's more to the story. It gets quite funny actually.
Yeah. So then the next person, the next comment under my thing tagged me, I will PM you. Great, thanks. And then another lady said, hey, Queen, not a problem at all. Oh, what was that replying to? Oh, that was the person that actually posted. She was like, oh, hey, Queen, I hope you find the right person to create more magic, blah, blah, blah. What a lovely person. She was great. I just said, I'm really struggling to find the right fit. And then they tagged someone else and said, yeah, this is the person that you need to work with. And then someone wrote, can you give me more information about the type of mentor that you're working with? And then I replied again with more detail. And then I had someone say, I'm going to DM you, which is again, that's fine because I probably haven't read the original comment. And then I had another person say, hey, Stacey, I'm a creative genius and I like to kick ass. Check out my style. Best view in my browser. I am multi-dimensional with a link. Thank fuck. But I went to her link and it was just her in Versace bikinis in a pool. Like, and it's nothing against like fucking gorgeous woman, but it was all about selling like the sexiness and it's her brand and I love that and it's working for her and oh my god I enjoyed the vibe, I enjoyed the lux of it, but is that the sort of energy that I'm looking for? Probably not, but I'm not discounting it. So I did sign up for her funnel that was on her thing. I haven't even looked at it all weekend because I'm renovating all weekend, totally shut off. So I'll check that out at some point this week. But yeah, automatically I was just like, probably not my vibe. So yeah, they were the comments to my stuff. So then we go into the DMs of everyone that commented. And yeah, so this person that said they would DM me, I saw your comment in Alpha Fam, and I'm just wondering what sort of coaching and support you're after. That way I can see what I offer if it fits and give you some links to book a call. And I said, thanks, lovely. And then I listed out again exactly what I'm looking for. I want someone who is legitimately in their business with multi streams of revenue, earning at least $50,000 a month so that I can, work with that energy. They know that level that I'm at and how I can move forward. And it sounds like a real like dick thing to say. I mean, I feel like it's a dick thing to say. Like I want to work with someone who's earning at least $50,000 a month. But when I need help and support to start generating more than that, I feel like energetically I need someone who's already there. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's less about the income itself and more about the stage of empowerment, of growth that they're at. The income,
Yeah.
it's a product of something, and you're not wanting the income necessarily, you're wanting the thing that got them that income.
Yeah.
So
It's more about that, like, I know the systems and structures I need to get to that much income, to 100K months and blah, blah, blah. Am I there energetically and ready to do that? No. So that's why I want someone who's already there and open for that. So that's like for me a huge thing. And she wrote back and she said like she's definitely not even halfway to that, unfortunately, but she does work with the feminine and the energetics, and she thinks that I would benefit from some NLP and hypnotherapy and blah blah blah, which is great. And I'm actually not shut off to booking with her just purely because of the way she did engage with me and focused on all the things that I'd said. She was really, really good at messaging me. And it was $335 to book a one-off session with her, which is like much better in pricing wise. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, that was one DM. Which yeah, again, like I feel like it's not about the money as such. It's just like, and I know I say I don't need system and structures, but I also do want the support like from a physical sense, but I want support from someone who has the systems and structures energetically, how they're managing all of that stuff to move forward. Because, like, I'll be honest, if someone is listening to this and they think they can coach me, fantastic. I'm fully coachable and I'm open. Probably doesn't sound like I am, but I am, I promise. Um, like, yeah, I feel like I know what I should be doing to move into full growth, but I run the three businesses, and at the moment, obviously one launching, and that's going to take some energy and time to get established and ready to go. My digital marketing agency, I love, and that is for me at an energetic point where it is beautiful. It's growing, it's flourishing. I am enjoying the people I'm working with, and that's all well and good. But I also have my third business, which is my mentoring and our space that we work together in. And I know how much growth and impact we can have within that space. And that's where I need to start having some advice to align more energy into that space and probably look at leveling up the digital marketing so that I can step back from hours in there. So, like, see, I know, like, I know it's all in here about what I should do. It's just whether or not I can find someone to do that. So
Well,
yeah.
another element of that statement about you wanting 50K is that as mentors, coaches, healers, we are elevating our clients to what we have and where we are. There's a lot of people out there trying to support people who are all the way like 10 steps ahead of them, where our most impact is elevating people to where we are now. People who want to learn what we've done to get where we are. So you saying 50K, that's telling them this is where I want to be elevated to. But yeah, it's interesting how many people messaged you who clearly weren't at that
I just
level.
found another DM which I hadn't seen yet. So I've opened up her landing page so I can have a look at that later. But as soon as I opened it up, I saw like womb healing and divine feminine.
So trendy. It's all so trendy.
I'm not laughing at womb healers and energetic and feminine and stuff like that. I'm laughing because you know how like unspiritual I am on that side of things. Like, I don't know. I mean, I probably should because I haven't done a lot of that work. And even yesterday, I said to you, I was talking to someone and they were asking me about my experience and my businesses. And they're like, wow, like this is amazing. Have you had a divine feminine awakening? And I was like, what is that? What does that mean?
See, there is a place for womb healing, but I think that, yeah, it's infiltrated the world of business too much. It's like womb healing solves everything. Well, it actually doesn't.
I don't even like I love that we do have clients who are like womb witches and do all this magic with
we love
womb
them.
and feminine. Love those people to pieces. Do I understand exactly what they do? Like no. I even when it comes to astrology, someone asked me yesterday what my something Pluto was, and I'm like, I know, Em, you've told me 100 times, and I'm just like, where is it in the back of my brain? This information, like, for some reason, like I need it visually in front of me to be able to, remember and
That's
connect.
why I create the mission map guides.
That's why I have it.
Yeah, I do that 30-page guide for each person who comes and does the mission mapping with me because you have that with you to take everywhere.
You can refer back to it. And that's what I do. And so my brain's like, this is not information I need to retain right now because you've got it on a PDF. So, so I struggle with that. So like automatically I'm like, how would womb healing and divine feminine arts and things like, and it's just because I'm totally like not on purpose, but I'm totally ignorant to this. As someone coming to me to pitch this to me when I'm talking about I want to get to this level, this is what I need, which I feel like doesn't relate to that. But how would you connect those dots with the divine feminine and that side of things? Because I feel if anything,
I'm just trying to imagine you laying down for a womb healing session. And I can't generate that image. Now, for those of you who are listening, I have done 4 years in sacred feminine arts and all of that side of things. Like I know how it supports. We work with a lot of people who do it, but to actually have someone suggest that they can, yeah, lay down, have a womb healing, and this will help you get to 50K months. Like, I just, yeah, it's, yeah.
But what is that? And how, like, does it connect with business? Like, is it something that I should maybe consider? Because you know how uncomfortable I am when it comes to anything emotional and
Meditation, sound healing, that's just,
like sound healing is not my jam. I struggle with public vulnerability, and like even to the point where I never close my eyes in public for years and years and years. And it took a roller derby camp for me around people I really fucking trusted to be able to close my eyes as part of a challenge. We had like this ropes thing we had to do, and it was all these knots, and we had to be blindfolded and undo all these knots. And I'm like prior Stacey would not have. So that was a win for me to be able to even just be blindfolded in public, because I have total meltdowns and freakouts by not being able to see. But like, yeah, I really struggle with that. And it's going to take me a long time. Like, I'm happy to be vulnerable with you, obviously. And I love that we can talk and you help me through the emotions of my business and just life and everything. But to connect with someone else I don't know, it's going to take me a long time to warm up to talk about that stuff. So womb healing is like physical, like, do I have, like, you would lay down and have a healing?
it depends. It depends on the practitioner. Yeah, okay. It's my view of how it supports people is awakening that sacral chakra, that creativity center, the feminine healing part of it. People talk about the witch wounds, and there's a lot of layers to it. But I think this is an important thing to say, is that if you are convicted that womb healing helps you get people to 50K months, it is your responsibility to show people how and why that helps.
I'll look at her content and see how it all relates.
I'm not looking at you saying it's your responsibility. I'm saying, as the leader, as the creator, as the holder of this, it's up to us to show people why these things do what they do.
Yeah.
Especially when the connections are a bit convoluted.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's connected, so I'm going to dive deep into that, and maybe we'll talk about that next week. But the next one I got, which was one I screenshot and sent to you, which we had a little giggle about, was a DM I got, no fucking links, no landing page. And again, go to her profile, no links, no nothing, like not even a link to social media pages or an Instagram, not even a fucking Pinterest. Like, why did you even bother messaging me? And she wrote, hi, it's blah, blah, blah. I help people build legacies that are, and she misspelt soul and wrote sulk, suk, aligned, balanced, and derived, which she also spelt incorrectly, with multiple streams of income. Like, she couldn't even take the time to just, I don't know, it's just so fussy, but like just take the time to spell it correctly. Would be nice.
That's not fussy. That is not fussy. Like, what we put out there to the world is how people judge us. Like, what we are projecting is what people are reading from us.
Please tell me in the comment section if you think I'm like being overly fussy and picky here, but I just think if you can't even take 10 seconds to spell 2 words in one sentence correctly, what attention to detail do you have within your business is automatically what I think of. And I'm just like, nope, not even replying to you. You can fuck off. Like, I just have no.
There's another element. It's so rehearsed. It's not like she's connected with your energy and
and I'm so,
it's like copy and paste shit.
I'm so far beyond people who say I help spiritual blah 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 do blah blah blah. I help statements were so 10 years ago that we are like, even if you pitch that to me, I'm going to be like, wow, how vanilla. Like, can you not just think of like a creative way to express what you do in a deeper, like, I help statements throughout. So yeah, anyway, so I wasn't totally vibing with that one. And yeah, so the other one that's followed up with me said, hello, beautiful. I saw your post in blah, blah, blah. I mentor in many areas. Would love to know more about what you're looking for. And I'm like, oh, Christ's sakes. I think this is why I didn't bother looking at it the other day. because I just think like I wrote on that post twice what I was looking for. Like, just take the time to read it, please. But she sent me a link to her Instagram and to her website, which is exciting. I haven't clicked on it yet because it's in my message request, so I can't click on the link directly from there. So I've got to copy and paste it from my computer, which I don't do on my phone. So I'm going to have a look at that this week. The other one that made us laugh so hard was the other screenshot that I sent you. And I sound like such a bitch, but she wrote, "Hey, Stacey, STACY. Now, for those of you who don't know, my name is STACEY. Please don't forget the E. When you're literally DMing me from a post where my name is there into my personal profile where my name is at the top, please don't misspell my name. I find that to be, and I'm the problem, it's me. I find that so disrespectful. Like, take 2 seconds to spell my name correctly. Am I wrong? Would you be upset? Well, not that you can, like, everyone's going to have to look at your name and like know how to spell it because,
well, yeah, look, for a name like mine, and like I used to be Emma. My legal name is Emma, so that one's easy. But I can understand a little bit with a name like mine because you have to kind of look at it a couple times to make sure you've laid it out correctly. And then there's freaking spell check that changes things. That
yeah,
like I'm a victim of spell check a lot. But Stacey, there's no excuse for that. I would even with Nicolina, I'd be like, take a moment, have a breath between each letter if you have to, but that is the minimum required to be able to cultivate any sort of connection.
Yeah. And I have no idea why that triggered me so much. And there's probably something I need to explore because I'm just like so insulted by the fact that you saw my name in the post, you saw it when you clicked on my profile, clicked to message me, and you still didn't spell it right. And spell check does not autocorrect it without the E. Well, at least on Apple. I don't know about, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, so she said, "I saw what you're looking for in a mentor and I felt really connected to you." Exclamation point. I'm like,
yuck. It's just
right. Okay. It just felt really like scripted to me. And she said,
yeah.
I'm a six-figure mentor with a focus in money and marketing. I always say I create wealthy women. I'm a big lover. I'm a big lover of luxury, money manifestation, and uplifting women. Let me know if this sounds up your alley and we can chat. Well, for starters, you didn't fucking send me a link, which is what I asked for, which is annoying. You spelled my name wrong. And like, actually sounds kind of interesting. And I did like the vibe, but like, I'm not going to DM you to chat to you about your offers because I've asked specifically to see your website and your landing pages.
There was another thing about this that pissed me off is that
that's what I was just about to say.
I create wealthy women. That one really got my fires burning.
I knew this was the one you wanted to talk about. So go for it.
I saw that. And
why? Like, and I didn't really read that when I screenshot it to you because I was so focused on my name being spelled wrong.
I understand.
But yeah, that was something that you were like, no, that's like totally misaligned with what we're supposed to be doing as mentors and leaders.
I mean, it's very subtle. I think that when we have emotional responses to things, that the reason we're having those emotional responses is much more subtle. And it can take a lot of self-awareness to actually track things back. But this one, I was like, how dare you? How dare you say you create wealthy women? You might guide people to more wealth. You might support people on their journey to more wealth. But when we say I create these people to be what they are, it's like you're taking ownership of their achievements, of their experiences. So that flashed up before me immediately. And I was like, no. I'm not going to work with someone who says they created me. That was a big red flash. And perhaps it was completely self-conscious, didn't even think about it, hasn't really worked on the messaging, isn't at that level of awareness where she's thinking about how language affects people. but that's just as bad. Mm.
And this is why I think that it's really hard for me. And as you said before, when I've sent you stuff like this, you're like, oh my God, they need to work with you. And that's, I think, my problem is I look at these people and that are approaching me that have, you know, the $300 offers or whatever. And like, it's all well and good, but like, I look at them and I think, yeah, like there's so much I could work on with you. How are you going to help me? And that's the thing. And like, I know we've talked about it before. I did a couple of calls with a male coach, which excited me to no end to actually have a man who was a bit woo and like very spiritual and in touch with feminine and masculine in business. And I love the vibe. And I was like, I know this person could get so much out of me. But then we investigated and we found out like there was a whole bunch of stuff in the background that didn't really align. And like, oh, and I was like disappointed. But he was also asking, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, he was just asking a little bit too much for what he did, with him being like, and this was his first business coaching in his own name, and he'd had all this success in digital marketing and all that stuff, and I, great, but you're creating this whole new business. And it was like, I didn't realize when we first started chatting, I thought he'd been doing this for years and years because he sounded so good, but he'd actually just done some courses on some spiritual stuff and decided to become more of a business mentor, and that business went haywire or whatever, and that had to close down. And yeah, there was a whole drama with that. So I was talking to him where he just ran his first program, and like I would have been one of his, you know, first 10 clients that he collected. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just, yeah, I left with like, if I'm going to invest that much, like, yeah. And it came back to, again, like, do I believe in myself enough to do the work to achieve the results that need to, you know, look at that as an investment? Yeah, probably wasn't the right time for me to be spending that much, because it was all a me thing, not about his pricing. It's all about me. And so, yeah, I'm really struggling with this. So maybe, Em, you can give me some wise words of wisdom right now. And that's why yeah.
I'm going to just say something that I think is a really important issue. I only commented about this with someone, I think just this morning, about how in the coaching healing worlds, it's been affirmed over and over again to charge what we're worth and high ticket pricing. I think the industry's shifting, and those high prices for those who haven't done the time aren't going to stand for much longer. And I see a lot of it, people charging 5K for coaching, and they haven't done their time. They haven't got the experience. They haven't got the list of clients who they've supported to do the things that they say they can help with. There is a lot of healers going into this, charge high ticket prices, selling $5,000, $10,000 coaching programs. And the energy just isn't in their content. The energy, they don't have the conviction behind what they do. They're not describing what they do. They're describing all of these beautiful concepts, but it's not actually in a tangible form. It has no substance behind it. But I think, Stace, you've just met a lot of those people who put high ticket on something that they haven't really done their time in, and they're presenting it to you, and you're just going, this just isn't aligned, but it's because it doesn't have the substance behind it.
And I think that's the problem. Like, I think of it in two different ways. Like, I look at like these masterminds, which I think would be great. And then I look at the price of them. Like, we're talking 15, 20,000 Australian dollars. My practical mind goes, yeah, I can make that. Like, that's no problem. There's an endless supply of money out in the world. Would I rather spend that money elsewhere? Yes. Do I want to spend that on this part of my, and this is, you know, part of the problem as well. It's like, who I want to work with is probably going to be at that price point where I don't want to invest, because I don't see a lot of people charge too much, and I don't see that connection with the price. And that's the problem, I think, is I would probably really enjoy working with someone who charges $100,000 for 6 months of coaching. Am I going to pay that? No way. Because I mean, I personally don't see that mentoring is ever like at that price point valuable unless you're like in massive corporate business where you're managing multi-millions and millions of dollars worth of income with strategies and systems and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, like I just think the coaching space is bizarre, and
it really is. And I don't think this is about talent. This is not about what you know. It's not how good you are at what you do. I think that is like, well, you're this good at that, charge that. I'm very passionate about saying you need to do your time in this field, in this industry, gaining that living expertise before you whack these big prices on things. Like you have no right to charge these massive prices if you haven't lived it, if you haven't breathed it, if you haven't had multiple clients. Nothing to do with your gifts or your talent. It's getting in there and doing the time. That's what it is about. That's what high ticket is about. And now everyone's charging high ticket and they're going, why can't I get any clients? It's because you're not willing to start at the gate. You're wanting to be dropped at the destination.
There was someone who commented on that post, not on my part, but on the other person's post. They're an Australian chick. I've seen them around for a long time, and their vibe is so fucking cool. There were a few people whose websites were like, you're a badass and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, if you need to use the actual phrase badass, like you're not.
Boss babe. Anything that says boss babe, I'm like, run away, run far away.
This particular coach, mentor, whatever she likes to call herself, I'm not sure. Like, she's got that badass fucking rock star energy without having to use any of that cringe chuggy language, basically.
Chuggy?
Yeah.
Chuggy? What the fuck?
Anyway,
I don't know what that means.
It means embarrassingly cringy, old school, like millennial, like chuggy. It's a word.
I've never heard. I'm gonna have to look at that one up.
Anyway, so she doesn't, and I was like, yeah, like this, I didn't realize, like, I hadn't looked at her for a long time, and then she posted her link to her mastermind, which opens next month, and I was like, yeah, cool. And I click on it, landing page, like a couple of paragraphs and a couple of dot points, and then to invest is 12,000 Australian dollars. And so this is, again, something I wanted to talk about was if you're posting something in a group or, you know, talking in the DMs with someone, even like that's a little bit different because you can give a lot of value and talk people in. But if you're just like posting in a group with a link to your mastermind, I did not see honestly more than probably $1,000 worth of value. And that's just from the content. That I'm not saying that her program isn't worth that much, but I'm just saying from the landing page perspective, it looked like a landing page that was for a really hot audience that knows what the fuck she does, who she is. Like, it was a very wishy-washy outline of a mastermind that had some exciting bits in it. But then when it got to the price, I was like, there is absolutely no way I would click to book a $12,000 experience from that landing page. And this is another, you know, part of all of this stuff. When you're networking, you're creating landing pages, you're talking with people, you need to be able to satisfy all the questions that people have and build that trust within a landing page so that people do book. And there wasn't an opportunity to book a call with her from that page either. So to invest that much, am I going to click through and book that straight from a landing page? No, like I'm just personally not. But if I was on a call with someone and I could ask more questions and really see whether it was going to be aligned, who else was going to be participating in it, because it's a mastermind. So it's not about my experience. It's about who else also is part of the mastermind so that I can find out whether it fits for me. And there was no opportunity for that. There was some like frequently asked questions, accordion tabs, and that's great. Like always have those. But like there were a few things that I, as a mentor, would audit that page and say, these are the holes, and you could probably increase your conversions by 70% if you made these changes to that landing page. Am I charging $12,000 for my programs? No. Like I don't. But then again, I'm like, there are so many things that I this is why the problem. I look at that and go, you could be doing so much better if you just had all of these different things in place to be able to funnel me through. Would I pay $12,000 if I had a chance to? And I could probably DM her and all that, but am I going to? Probably not, because I find like, well, maybe that's not like, is that stepping into personal, like how, like what, like you need to give people a very, very clear pathway to work with you. And a landing page is a fantastic way to do that, but it also needs certain things in place to be able to convert people.
Okay, I think you are going to come up against this over and over and over if you're looking at every problem that you can solve on their pages instead
I know.
of going behind that
I
and
know.
looking at, are you wanting them to help you with landing pages and copy? No. But do they have
No.
something that they can support you
Well,
in?
that's the thing. I'm not finding the people that are saying that they could support for what I personally need. So there's like a lot of, you've probably seen it as well. There's a lot of the same programs and content out there. So like, yeah, there's a few things that have sparked my interest and I'm going to look at them this week. But again, it's like, and that's why we're talking about it today. Like, I just think there are so many different things that you can put in place so that if you are posting in someone's group or whatever, that you actually do have a way for people to connect and work with you. And, this wasn't just all about like bitching and carrying on and talking about my problems because I have plenty of them, obviously. But yeah, it's more about bringing awareness to you. If you are going to be sending someone a DM like that, okay, how are you actually going to connect with them? Automatically, when I would say if you're going to DM someone, I wouldn't just send a pitch. I've obviously asked for landing pages, so I would appreciate if they had just sent some things, but then asking some questions that I haven't answered in the post itself would be nice. But getting to know me and how they can help me better with the things. So, like me personally, if I was messaging someone and I saw them in a group saying these are the things I'm looking for, I would even just copy and paste that into my notes app first. And I'd be like, right, how can I handle this question, like this thing? And so I would then go through. So I can see you're looking for this. I can just tell you that blah, 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 blah. This is how I work with this. And then the next one. And so you're not only satisfying what they've asked for, but then you're opening the gateway to deeper discovery and more connection by saying, so this is the thing that you really want to work on. I just want to ask you a couple of layers behind that. What is the motivation? Like, what is the thing? Like, how are you currently doing it? So that I can find out whether or not what I do and my systems and structures are the right fit for you as well. So I would structure your conversations a little bit more like a cover letter, for example, like answer the selection criteria.
I'm just thinking about what the chain of energy of the coach that I hired. So,
oh yeah, I'd love to know.
Yeah, so I worked with he's a phenomenal coach. I was investing $5,000 a month. Had no prior connection with him, no knowledge of him. A friend of mine, Facebook friend of mine, shared a video of him talking about his holistic business map. And he used the Chinese, the 5 elements, and he had a pentagram star, and he was mapping out how he maps out people's businesses. So I'm very spontaneous in the way I purchase. I don't tend to get to know people for a long time before I purchase things. That's shifted a little now, but I saw that video and I'm like, I want to do this. I'm going to message him. So I did, and he got me. He got me my business and coached with him for 18 months. And what happened there is a whole other story. But it was just occurring to me as you were talking about that, is that all these coaches are sharing the same fucking thing, posting the same content in different ways. What really caught my attention with this coach was that what he was doing was different.
Yeah, he had his unique transformation. Yeah.
He was displaying his holistic business map. It wasn't even a great video. He just filmed it on his phone. Like, you could tell it was wavering around, and this is a 5K a month coach. So, but he was connecting with his audience. It wasn't some set up video like where he's doing this big curated thing. He was just saying, hey, look, I've got something to show you. And that caught my attention. I was like, he does something different. So I think this is what it takes, is we display our signature processes, the way we do things, how we are different. Whereas all these $10,000 a month coaches, it looks the same as everybody else's. So in my theory is we shouldn't actually need to DM people if we've got that energy aligned and those structures in place. And I see that with other people as well. So when they are so intimate with their own processes and they share them, those people are being called in rather than them have to go and DM people and say, hey, look, Stacey with no E, this is what I do. To be honest, when I think everything's aligned, and this is how it worked for me, my first evolution of business, everything was aligned and people just came from everywhere to work with me. So I think this is possible if we get that energy and that intention and our own processes out there into the world.
Yeah, I wish that I could just find someone that was like, oh, that's the person, and I know they're out there. And that particular mastermind I've signed up for, I like, at the moment, their one-on-one is so far beyond what I am comfortable investing in that I just wouldn't do that. And I also just think, like, sometimes I look at prices for one-on-ones, I think, oh God, that's really insulting. Like, how are you worth that much money? Like, that's a thing I need to overcome. And I wish that person would pop up. But I also, like, I got tired of people telling me to just look at their content on their Facebook page or go to their Instagram to look at their content. And I'm like, I am in high consumption. Like, I have the problem, I have the destination that I want to get to. I'm looking for the person to fill that gap. I don't have the time to sit there and look at all your content and scroll or follow you for months to see if what you're going to do for me is what I need. And that's I think the disconnect that a lot of these coaches have at the moment, because the majority of them don't have a website. And I'm not saying you have to have a website.
I'm saying you have to have a website.
At least have a landing page, just a one pager. Like, you can even create it in Canva websites if you don't want to invest in like a Squarespace or whatever. Just do it on Canva, for Christ's sakes, because that landing page or that website bridges from me seeing you and seeing your energy and thinking, yeah, this is cool, to me going, I'm comfortable, I trust, and I want to invest in this person. Bridge, super quick, 130 Ks an hour. I can go over that bridge. If you're telling me that you don't have a landing page, we've got to get into the DMs and have a conversation, which most people aren't comfortable to do. And I personally wouldn't, because I haven't built trust even to have that conversation with you yet. And like going through content and watching your reels and all of that sort of stuff, that to me is one of those like wire bridges, you know, like you're swaying backwards and forwards and you've got to stumble across to get to the other side. It would take me a long time to build that trust from a visual and, you know, learning perspective versus just being able to go to a landing page and saying, bam, this is your experience, these are your qualifications, these are some testimonials, these are the programs that I run, this is my energy, this is how you can work with me, connect with me. Like, I see it as a really super simple thing. And I know this is so hilarious that we're talking about this when both of us have websites under construction.
Yeah.
But we're actually both like in that, like, obviously my digital marketing agency, my website does great. I get lots of inquiries through it, SEO, like everything that's there ticking along. My Stacey Walker website is under construction at the moment.
But we're aware, we're self-aware. We're self-aware right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm also at full capacity. So I'm not in client acquisition mode. I'm not in audience attraction mode. Like, I'm just in a different phase behind the scenes of business. So I'm obviously redoing my website for that particular reason. but it still has somewhere to go. You can see my vibe, you can see my message really quickly. It gives you some links to follow me, and it also has our podcast on my landing page there. So you can quickly just connect with me and my vibe from there. Do I have capacity to book connection calls right now with potential clients? No, because as I said, I'm at capacity. So like, I know that sounds hilarious that we're both in construction mode with this, but this is because we are aware that this website, these landing pages are that bridge. And I find it like it's fantastic for these women who are earning 6-7 figures by running their businesses through the DMs. But I also legitimately, as a strategist, can see that they are missing out on absolute shit tons of income, potential income, by not having some other systems and structures in place. And I think that for me, because I put so much value on it, I wouldn't work with a coach who doesn't have those strategies, because that's what I want for my business. And I think that's why I just had a light bulb. That's why I'm struggling. I don't want to work with someone who doesn't have the structures in place that I think and see are so valuable.
Well, the words immaturity and maturity are coming to mind.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think that a lot of people are going into the world with an immature business. They don't have the structures in place. Like, there is a maturing process in business where you might start and just throw shit out there to your current audience and just know someone's going to want it, but you don't have to think about much from there. Whereas as your business grows and matures, you start to put those structures in place. You start to get your shit together and put that on a landing page or a website. And you can feel that energy of wisdom, the veteran in a website that has come from someone who has done their time and has a lot to offer the world.
Yeah.
Our business has to evolve. So this is just what popped up as you were saying that too. It's like you are showing yourself at a much lower, lesser, earlier stage of evolution if you don't have these things in place. So like,
Yeah.
it says a lot about your business if you're DMing someone and don't have a good website, or at least a landing page, and you haven't got things in place to bring a customer in and look after them from the moment that they connect with you.
Yes. And I am all about systems and automations, and I know how to set them up for myself. But yeah, I just think there's a whole bank of income and freedom that you're missing out on if you don't have this stuff in place. And yeah, I think that obviously you can have a successful business, and I have friends and I've worked with people that are successful in business without a website. So I know that it's possible, but you're also limiting yourself to yourself. You are only available from your energy and your DMs and your time investment. You aren't giving people the opportunity to explore and learn and connect with you without you being present in that process. And
I think
that's a huge thing.
It's different when there are a lot of people who do what you do as well. So if you're a coach in a group full of coaches trying to sell you coaching services, and the person next to you has a website and you don't, like, they're further ahead than you. They've got better structures. They have got the things to actually connect with people. I think there are other types of business where you probably don't need a website, but if you're in a field where there is a lot of people doing what you do, then it is so important. If you're not an on the ground business and you're trying to get business online, personally, I wouldn't ever work with someone when I can't go to a website to explore what they do and to connect with them, and even to see if our vocabulary aligns. That's a really big one for me.
Yeah.
So unless you've got somewhere where I can go and investigate that, I'm going to go to the next person who offers the same service, who has got that thing. So at least a landing page. At least.
Yeah. And it's not like I am such a visual consumer, and that is why I love branding and graphics and like all of the visual communication techniques that I teach them because I connect with them so deeply on such a cellular level that if I cannot visually consume your vibe, then I really, really struggle. And, you know, a lot of these people also, again, it sounds really stuffy and stupid, but a lot of them didn't even have like professional photos on their profiles or their cover photos and they on their content and stuff like that. And it's not like, honestly, I take the majority of my photos myself. And I've had a photo shoot years and years ago. I'm about to have a new one in my office now that it's finished. And I think that professional photos are important, but you can still take your own professional photos. So I look, I just didn't connect with any of them. And it is very disappointing because I think that there's probably a lot of magic out there, but you telling me that you create wealthy women or that you have marketing systems and strategies to blah, 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 that isn't a good pitch. You're not telling me shit. You're actually just giving me surface level crap that I wouldn't even read that if it was on a website. Like, I want more. I want to know the details. I want to know exactly what your process is, how you help people. And it's not just, oh, I help people with branding. Great. Well, what do you actually do with them? And that, for me, like, I talk about the 3 layers of branding and how I take people through this process of the soul, the mind, and the face of your brand. And like, that's my process. It's unique to me, and I don't see anyone else doing it that way because that's me and that's how I like to do it. So if someone says, oh, I help with branding, I'm like, what does that mean? And we've done a lot of content before. We've done our masterclasses on that signature transformation. But yeah, I think that is a huge key to the pitch as well, is when you fully understand what exactly it is you're offering, then the people hear that really loudly, they can connect with it, and they build trust with that like instantly, because not only are you saying you help with this thing, but you're showing like, this is my process. It automatically goes, right, I can give you my business because I trust that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this before about my observation that a lot of coaches and service providers aren't intimate with their own process of transformation. They don't know where people are at. They can't describe it because they haven't identified a course of transformation that they take their clients through. And it's like, you know what your process of transformation is. And when someone comes to you, you know exactly where they're at and what you need to do with them and where you need to start them from. But like someone who says, oh, I help wealthy women, so what? Like, what's your process? Where are people in that process? Like, I help people. I know you're not new to the I help statements. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
Like, what does wealthy even mean to you? Like, when you say wealthy, what does that actually mean? Because wealth for me is going to mean something different to wealth for someone else. And wealth for me is $1 million a year at a minimum. But you might actually be working with someone who's going from 5K to 10K. And the person's not going to know that you're calling them in if you can't actually speak to where they're currently at. So I mean, this is big for me, these convoluted concepts, and know your process, know how you get people through that process.
And it's not niching down, but it's getting really specific to talk to your audience. And I know there's one particular coach that we have both looked at, and like, we've said, like, it's so messy the way that they're promoting themselves. Like, they help people get to 6 figures and 7 figures. They are 2 incredibly different things. If a coach is focusing on helping you get to 6 figures, or a coach is helping you get to 7 figures, your message is going to be, because I mean, as someone who, like, I would look at them, if I was someone who was looking for a 7-figure coach, I'd probably look at them and go, oh, well, they're not really specifically like have the structures to help me, because they're working with those 6-figure people as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. And as someone who wants to work with a 6-figure person, they don't give a shit about the 7 figures. They look at that and go, yeah, cool, they can help me get 6 figures and beyond. But the 7-figure earners aren't going to be looking for someone who sells himself as that. So it's about getting really clear and concise with your messaging. And actually this morning I was on a group where a lady asked for help, and she said, help, I'm doing something wrong. I haven't got any clients. And she didn't give any more information. So I read a few of the comments, and she was getting a bit snarky with people. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's have a look at your profile. So I went to her profile, and her content was missing the mark massively. she was talking in all of her content to mothers over 35 who want to lose weight. And so I went into like mentor mode. I audited her content. Like it took me like good 10 minutes to write out my little explanation of why you're not actually attracting clients. And I said to her that there were two things missing. Your messaging and your branding are completely non-existent. Other than saying that, are you a mother over the age of 35 who wants to lose weight? She was not talking. And I am that like demographic, like, yeah, sure, I'd love to lose a few kilos without doing much, mind you. But I'm that target audience, right? Like that is me. I'm over 35 and I'm a mum. Other than saying that specifically, none of the content related to what my lifestyle is, like at all. It did not talk to me whatsoever. And so I gave her a few pointers about how to actually address her target audience, because just saying who you want to talk to is not enough. You need to talk their language. And so gave her some pointers there. And then also, like, her content was so dull and uninspiring. Her energy, like, I don't know if she was an expert, but as someone who is over 35, very little time, spare, at capacity, energetically, physically, I said to her, like, you actually need to step into authority. Your personal branding is non-existent. I can't see who you are and what vision you have for your business and to help people by what you're already creating right now. You need to step up in and align to your authority, because one, and I said to her, like, I don't want to sound harsh. I want to help you so you get this right, so you can get clients quickly. So I preface it by saying that. No offense, kind of vibes. But I said to her, one, as someone who is your target demographic, I want someone who's highly motivated and inspiring, who I look at and go, heck yeah, I can do that. And two, that's going to support me through making those changes and this evolution of myself. And at this stage, her content is doing neither of those things. She is not excited by what she does by the look of her content. She wasn't like showing how if she is a mum. She looked a lot younger, so I don't know if she was, or if she just looked fucking fantastic for her age. I don't know, like, whether she's actually a mum, like how she's managing to do this within that time frame. She wasn't really motivating me, and like the content was so vanilla and boring. And it was like, do you want to have a diet where you can eat the chocolate cookie and the Nutella? Well, you can, and that's the type of vibe. And I'm like, that's the reason why people aren't working with you.
You've got everyone thinking you now about how they show up.
So this is what this episode's about. It's like, how are you actually attracting the people into your business? How are you talking to them is exactly why they will work with you.
They don't see what you want them to see just because you want them to see it.
Yeah.
So this is a personal process of evolution. I think sometimes we detach ourselves from our business because it's hard and because we don't want to have to do the work. And that's a subconscious thing, mind you. I'm not saying you want to do a business and yet you're lazing out or something like that. This is about being lazy or not trying. It's more about we detach ourselves from the work that we need to do, especially in mission-driven business, because the moment we start a business, all of our limitations, all of our fears and doubts start rising up with the purpose of resolving them. If you're choosing to step into legacy leadership, the universe is going to call you to change in a really, really big way. So we can't entirely step back from that, but people try. So recognizing that people see what you are putting out there to the world, not what you hope they see. And I see a lot of limitations here because people with big energy, talented, powerful women, like, we want to be in control of how people see us. And I think there can be a separation that happens, which means we don't show up. But at some point we have to make a decision. How do I want to show up? How do I want to be seen? And what can I do so that people can really see what I've got to offer? And am I willing to commit to that, whatever it takes, whatever I have to release, whatever I have to create, whatever I have to shift? Am I willing to do the work to create that? So it's easy to sit back in
Yeah.
the shadows and go, I really want to do a business. But if we have to show up, we have to refine how we show up. We have to change our vocabulary. We can't create the things that we want to have by sitting back in who we are now. We have to make those changes. And part of this is, if we're going to get clients, we need to change the way we show up.
Oh, it's clear. Like, if you're not getting clients, there is a disconnect. And that person started rejecting everyone else's advice, which is why I was like, she's a bit because she was in denial that she was doing anything wrong, but she was asking for help. Like, I'm just like, but this is where I want you to think about what resources you have available at your fingertips right now to get support. And this person said they paid an agency to run ads for them a year ago. They spent thousands of dollars. They got no clients out of it. So they don't want to ever spend any money again. I hear that all the time, and that's fine. But you also need to acknowledge that there are other avenues for you to invest in yourself and learn without having to spend money. And one of those is just taking advice from the people that are actually helping you on the post where you've asked for help is stage one. But also, like, if you are listening to this and you are wondering, well, I've done some content, people aren't responding to it, where am I going wrong? Post it in Mission Driven Women. That is what that group is there for, so that we can give you advice, so the community can connect with you and say, well, I'm in your target demographic. This isn't reaching me because of these reasons. So use those groups that you have at your fingertips to get, you could get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of advice from us for free through Mission Driven Women, our community, because we want to see you thrive. We want to help you. And sure shit, if we help you and you get some clients and you have some income, of course you're going to think, okay, well, their advice worked, I want more, right? So, like, it's not that we're doing it from a selfish point where we want you to invest in us. We want you legitimately just making income from your magic. So
yeah, that. But I also want to get you all in front of me to actually sit down and have a mission mapping with me, because every single person I've had sit in front of me is out of alignment. Every single person. They're not absolutely embodying their message. They don't really know what their mastery is and how to package that up. Really disconnected from our own medicine. This is where the mission mapping comes in, because I haven't met one human yet who's come and had sessions with me that are really embracing and expressing what's truly possible for them. So this is why I do want you to invest in me, but it's an investment in you. It's not about me. This is about you. We want to get you aligned, because you can be just slightly off center, but the further you walk, the further away from your path, your true path, your destiny, your legacy, you're going to be. Just slightly off center can create huge gaps in your business and the delivery of your medicine. So come into the group, we'll support you there. But this is also about starting from your center energetically. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to speak your true language. You're not going to be able to understand what your mastery actually is, or what your transformational process is. So we need to get both things right, not just how we show up, but the energy within us, removing the blockages, and also elevating ourselves to that, I hate saying this, but that frequency that we want to be seen as and felt as and expressed as. We're not high vibes only here. No, we don't do that. But it is about your frequency, because people are reading that even through a screen. It's quantum physics, right? People are reading that through a screen before you even have awareness that you're connecting with them. So we need to get that right. We need to clean up our energy and get ourselves out there in power.
Yes, absolutely. So leaving it here today, I wanted you to really just think about, one, how you're pitching yourself, two, how people are finding you, and three, just really having a look at your messaging and making sure that you're standing out from the crowd. Those are the main things that I wanted you to take away from this episode. So I hope it helps, because I really just wanted to share my personal journey on this with everyone. And like I said, if you feel like you need some help with your messaging, your content, drop them into the Mission Driven Women group. We're here to support you. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.